The European Cup, or the Champions League as it's currently known, has been going since 1955 and has crowned 22 different winners. The game of football has changed forever when their most famous club competition was formed, and there may be facts you don't know about it. Here are 11 things you may not know about the Champions League. Number 1. Two-legged final. The 1973-74 final took place in Brussels between new finalists Bayern Munich and Atletico Madrid, who were looking to pull one back on their neighbours and six-time winners Real Madrid. The final took place on the 15th of May and it ended 1-1 after extra time thanks to goals from Luis Aragonés in the 114th minute and Hans-Georg Schwarzenbeck in the 120th. The replay then took place 2 days later in the same stadium with under half the fans spectating. Bayern won the game 4-0 with 2 goals each from Ule Hoeneß and the ruthless Gerd Müller, giving Bayern Munich their first European Cup. Number 2. Unfortunate luck. Some teams only get the chance to play in the final once, so they need to take their chance. Atletico Madrid hold the record for the most finals without winning a game, first in 73-74 against Bayern Munich, the next being against Real Madrid in 2014, where Diego Godin scored, and 93rd minute local bastard Sergio Ramos got the equaliser. Eventually goals from Marcelo, Bale and Ronaldo ended up sealing their fate. Their third loss was in 2016, again to Real Madrid. Sergio Ramos got the first goal, Yannick Krass got the equaliser, and Real Madrid won on penalties, winning their 11th European Cup. Number 3. Heads or tails. The Champions League tie has always been decided by either team scoring more goals or a penalty shootout, hasn't it? No, it hasn't. In fact, in the 1964-65 European Cup campaign, Liverpool faced Cologne. The first leg ended 0-0. The second leg at Anfield ended 0-0 after extra time. With the penalty shootout concept not implemented in European Cups, Liverpool faced Cologne in Feyenoord Stadium, where the game ended 2-2 thanks to goals from Ian St John and Roger Hunt for Liverpool, and Karl-Heinz Thielen and Hannes Löhr for Cologne. Game had to be decided by a coin toss, so the referee called over Liverpool captain Ron Yates and Cologne captain Wolfgang over after the centre circle. In Ron Yates' word, "I got in first," the referee, and said, "I'll have tails." Luckily for me, the ref said OK. Liverpool tails, Cologne heads. The coin handed on tails, and Bill Shankly's men won the tie. Number 4. Getting your money's worth. There's a lot of goals in the Champions League. A lot of goals. And this was the case in the 2000-2001 season, where there were 449 goals. The top scorer that season was Raul with 7, and there were only 9 0-0s in 301 games. Number 5. Never happened. We think it's fair to say that the biggest match in the world is El Clasico, Barca versus Real Madrid, Blaugrana versus Las Blancos. These two have been combined 24 finals, and they've somehow never faced each other, despite them being in the past 5 finals. Which is ridiculous really, but these two still have incredible sides, so there's a very good chance that in the near future these two will face each other. Number 6. Away advantage. One thing any teams wants in the Champions League is their final to be held at their own stadium. No planes, no jet lag, and you know the feel of the pitch, which means when it gets announced that it's at your own stadium, you're licking your lips. Currently only 2 teams have ever won the final at their own stadium. Firstly, Real Madrid did it in 1957 with a 2-0 win over Fiorentina, and after that, Inter Milan did it against Benfica at the San Siro in a 1-0 win in 1965. But does it really make a difference? As 2 teams have also lost in their home stadiums in the final, the first being AS Roma at the Stadio Olimpico in a 1984 loss on a penalty shootout to Liverpool, and then after that in 2012 when a Drogba-inspired Chelsea beat Bayern Munich at the Allianz. Number 7. Always evolving. When the European Cup began, it was a straight knockout phase, and it stayed this way until 1992, when 2 groups were added, and then it stayed that way until 94, when 2 more groups were added. 2 groups were added then in the 97 Champions League, where only the top of the groups would go through, and the 2 best runners-up as well. In 1999, 2 more groups were added. The top 2 teams in each group would then go into a second group stage, where the top 2 sides would progress into the quarterfinals. This has stayed until 2003, into the same format we know it as now. Number 8. Rock and roll football. Liverpool love to play attacking football. Klopp loves coaching it. This is why when he joined in 2015, it was a match made in heaven. This was proven in the 17-18 season when they beat Barcelona's 45 goals by scoring 47 in one Champions League season, averaging 3.13 goals per game. Number 9. A long time ago. The competition we all know and love was confirmed by UEFA to be founded by two French journalists, Jacques Ferrand and Gabriel Hanot. Ferrand was in Chile covering the 1948 South American club competition, the Copa Libertadores, which was won by Brazilian side Vasco da Gama. Intrigued by the idea of it, Ferrand went back to France and took the idea to Hanot, who proposed the idea to UEFA. In 1953, Wolverhampton Wanderers went on an incredible winning streak against teams all across the world. Wolves manager Stan Koulis claimed Wolves to be the champions of the world. After this, Hanot said that before declaring them as world champions, let them go to Moscow and Budapest. A club world champion, or at least a European one, larger and more meaningful than a national team, should be launched, and in 1955 the UEFA Congress approved the proposal and kicked off the European Cup in April of that same year. Number 10. Like father, like son. Have you ever had your dad talk about how he won the Champions League as the captain of the side and never shuts up about it? Of course you have. So it was always great as a son to replicate what he's achieved. In the Champions League, this only happened once, and that duo was Cesar Maldini and his son Paolo Maldini. Cesar captained the AC Milan side in the 1963 win against Eusebia's Benfica, whereas Paolo won it in 2003 against Juventus in a penalty shootout. Will Paolo's son Christian ever make it happen? Well, we will wait and see. And number 11, the first of many. There have been thousands of fantastic goals in the Champions League, but who scored the first, you may be asking? Well, that honour goes to Sporting Lisbon's one club man, João Baptista Martins, who on the 4th of September 1955 scored in the 14th minute against Yugoslavian outfit Partizan in a game that ended 3-3. And with that goal, Martins would go down in history forever for scoring the first goal in Europe's biggest competition, and after that, thousands and thousands of goals have been scored. So that's our list. Are there any more obscure facts that you may know that we don't? If so, leave them in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.